3AW footy highlights for McDonald.
Dabs a little one to Zaharakis. They're owning the centre corridor here.
He got the handball off the Dangerfield, who was flying past, and he goes bang with a big kick from outside the 50 and a pancake parlour goal of the night.
Support for each other today, Essendon, has been first class.
Goes to ground, handball, intercepted, McDonald Tippenwoody goes for the pass, mark taken by Fantasia, thought about the handball, which moves in, Fantasia, goal.
I thought Geelong were coming a little bit there. They've had the ball, but whether the pressure has really just worn them down, and well done to Essendon for it.
It certainly has worn them down. Essendon 48 points in front with a quarter to play. Saturday twilight football on 3AW, the second match of our triple header. Rex Hunt, Sam Newman, Robert Walls and Shane McGuinness for the Saints and the Magpies straight after this. Let's get down to the boundary line for Master Builders. Here's Brett Thomas.
Thank you, Beaver. And it looks like both teams have a clean bill of health to start the fourth quarter. James Parsons did have a fair bit of treatment in that third quarter, had a doctor and a physio around him, was a bit tight in the groin, but looks like he will start the fourth quarter. I know he is, he's coming to the bench, so perhaps his day might be over. We'll keep an eye on him. But in terms of the Bombers, they're plenty in front, and they've got a clean bill of health coming into the last quarter.
Good on you, BT. Half and Shorey, massive upset in the making here. Can the Cats make any impression in the last half hour?
Well, I think they can, Beaver. I think there's one chance. They haven't had a time when I think there were probably 7 minutes in that quarter where they did have that. What's going on here? Looks like Essendon have had an extra player on the ground, boys.
What a count.
Yeah, the player just sprinted off the ground because they had an extra man out there. Oh, anyway, look, they can make an impact. They could get back 4 or 5 goals in this quarter, depending on how Essendon want to see this out.
So we start the final quarter with the Bombers leading by 48, and Bill Chambers got the first palm down. Zach Smith goes in after it. Stringer trying to emerge with it, and he was wrapped up in the tackle, and the umpire will come in and pull it up again.
85 uncontested marks for the Bombers tonight.
Yeah, it's
Shorey. 99 to 50 overall. They've doubled them in marks.
Kelly, he can't get out of the tackle. Again, the umpire is going to come in and pull it up. It's very rare half that the Cats absolutely get towed up, is it? I mean, they're usually pretty competitive, and they're getting a paddling tonight. There's no doubt about it for the Bombers. Here's Guelphy. He takes it and kicks to centre half forward, getting back Henry, and takes the mark for the Cats.
I was thinking that before, like their 3 losses this year, a point to Hawthorn and mown down in the last, 7 or 8 minutes by the Eagles after the big comeback, and mown down in the last quarter by the Swans.
Here's Tui with the kick, and mark taken by Hawkins, a rare mark, a rare feature for him as he jumps to his feet. He wants to give it off quickly, and he's turned it over.
He's had a horror.
He has, isn't he? He's just out of form. He's out of confidence. Indeed, takes the mark for the Bombers.
They only beat Melbourne by 3 points, Beaver, and they've beaten St Kilda and GWS, Collingwood, Port Adelaide.
And they've got a testing few weeks ahead as well, as the Bombers just chip it around in the back half. Goddard's got it again there. No, I was thinking of Essendon draw.
No.
We've actually got Carlton down at Cardinia Park next week.
They've got Gold Coast and then North Melbourne and Richmond.
Yeah, okay.
Tough finish before the bye.
Yep. So Sard's now got it. They still just possess the ball. They're still not outside defensive 50, the Bombers, but they don't really care.
You know what I'd be doing now if I was coach? I'd be taking Tommy Hawkins off and say, hey, son, if you don't want to defend, come and sit with me and have a look at your teammates trying to do the right thing. His effort then behind Smith was horrible.
Zaharakis got it to Stewart. He kicked down the line, and the mark was dropped by, was it Laverty? It was. And a scrap followed, and the umpire had seen enough. He says, I'll throw it up. It's right near the boundary line in front of the interchange gates. Blitzarves has got it. Quick handball to Selwood. Kick half batted down by Devon Smith. It ricochets close to the boundary line, and Goddard happy to see it over under pressure from Murdoch for a throw in about 53 around from the Geelong goal. 2.5 minutes into the last quarter. No addition to that 3-quarter time score. Essendon 10-11-71. Geelong 3-5-23 on the Collins House scoreboard. Winners earlier today, Port and North Melbourne, both by in excess of 40 points.
Ball back into play. Selwood wrapped up nice and tight that time by Jake Stringer and brought to ground as the umpire will come in and ball it up on Geelong's 50. So Kelly around the stoppage here along with Stringer. Blitzarves doing the ruck work for the Cats. Bill Chambers for the Bombers. Selwood was rammed into the MCG turf and is a little hurt, I reckon, after that.
That's ball.
James Stewart was tackled, and Paul, you're right. Advantage taken by Dangerfield, and he goes long inside the 50. Here's a chance for Zach Smith. Emerges with it, the big man. He's tackled, He's given some latitude. Got the handball away to D. Quick kick out of the danger area. Guelphy got it onto the boot. It's out towards the member side. Here's Seld. He's up and okay. Surprise, surprise. And then the ball is over the boundary line and we'll have a throw in 70 metres around from the Cats' goal.
Gee, they've done a good job on the stars of the Cats. Every time Selwood's grabbed the ball, Ablett, Dangerfield, they've been tackled or at least put enormous pressure on. Players have left their man to help out.
Blitzars and Bellchambers. Bellchambers got rid of Blitzars and then fumbled the ball. He was looking to take it straight out of the ruck. Kolajasny's got it. McKernan's got him. Half-handed it. Did the tall cat to Kelly. Now, that was a sling tackle, wasn't it? Holding the man. Kelly had got rid of it and Stewart slung him to ground. It was holding the man, paid by umpire Williamson. It's a free handball in the end of Tui, who's confronted by Heppel. From centre wing, he looked for Ablett. Ablett stopped, so did Zaharakis. Hall and Smith gathered. High kick towards the goal square. In fact, it floats in towards the right forward pocket. Hooker grabs the bouncing ball. Hawkins grabs him. Ambrose, did he push that player in the back? He did. It's hard to see who it is under Ambrose because he got straight into his back as a Gregson.
Yep.
And Gregson will have a shot for goal from only about 15 metres out, but a very tight angle in the right forward pocket at the punt road end. He's going to run out and use a left foot snap over his shoulder, and he's missed. And that sums up Geelong's day. 3-6-24 Geelong, 10-11-71 Essendon on the Collins House scoreboard.
McKenna brings it back into play. Short kick, very short to Devon Smith, who plays on McKenna, kept on running for him. Receives it, then goes to Stringer. Traps it at half back and kicks it to the members' side wing. Up high that time was Kolajasny. Bagley, good work, knocked it to his own advantage. He gathers it in, then got it onto the boot. He rolls it to half forward. Blitzarv's getting back there for the Cats. They've got some numbers here. Stewart, he gets it back by hand to Tui. Had to scramble it onto his boot. It was neat too. Mark taken by Tim Kelly. And Kelly looks out wide to the wing. Gregson, he takes it just on the defensive side, on the southern side for the Cats, and he goes short to Duncan, and Mitch Duncan will roll back over his mark.
Duncan looks inboard. Once again, Essendon, they've not just their pressure, but they're manning up as soon as they've lost. The football has been excellent today. There's been no short, easy balls for the Cats, although on this occasion Murdoch gets free. But it's another stagnant, slow build-up. He kicks down the line and Hawkins finally he's taken two this quarter, but marks in front of Hooker and a clever kick inboard to Kelly. He's the man on the mark's 55, 56 from home. Kelly honours the lead there of Dangerfield. He doesn't quite take the mark. Merritt on hands and knees gets a handball forward. Zaharakis grabs it, handballs to Stringer, off a step, thumps it into the centre circle, and Tui takes the easy chest mark for the Cats and kicks laterally.
He does. He goes to Duncan, who goes very short and mark taken by Cunico. Long way from home. He puts it inside the 50 now. Dangerfield went with the one hand. Here's Gary Ablett. Got a little sneaky handball off the Crammery.
Great stuff.
Oh, it was battered down the world that time by D. Deflected away to Zaharakis. And only as far as Kolajasny takes it back for the Cats and then just chips it short to Henry. He's outside the 50. He's about 55 from home. He launches. Top of the goal square. They all jump at it. Zach Smith comes down with it. Handball away to Kelly. Kelly being tackled by Sard, and that's holding the ball. And Sard will take the free kick for the Bombers in their back pocket.
Sure, they seem happy to absorb all this at the moment.
Yeah,
the
their defence behind the ball has been as good as I've seen all year, and they had to be because it was non-existent. But their zoning behind the ball has been fantastic.
But they are happy just at the moment to soak up time, aren't they? And
you're right.
There's the long kick from Saar down the line. Bagley, what a revelation he's been as a small pressuring forward today. Meets it at ground level. Kolajasny strips him of the footy. Got a handball to Hall and Smith. Kick was smothered. Ball fell to Kelly. Handball to Duncan from 49. He's going to kick it into the goal square. Zach Smith has it punched away by Ambrose. Bombers there in numbers. And in fact, Hooker was being held without the football. And another free kick. Hooker in the last line, in fact, in the left back pocket, is going to take the free kick and just hoof it down the line on the southern stand side.
He does, and McKernan comes up to meet it, and what a night he's had. 4 goals and has been very prominent. Little one to McKenna by hand.
Look at his run, McKenna. Look at this.
McKenna just kept on running, as you said, and then gets on into the handball. Gives it to Brendan Goddard now. Goddard now. He gets it to Guelphy, puts it inside the 50. Bagley is there. Ball hits the net, Laverty as well. Bagley got it up to Laverty. He was able to get the handball into Devon Smith. Back to Bagley again. He now puts it to the hot spot. Stringer takes the mark. He's been paid. And Jakey Stringer will go back and line up from directly in front.
Going to be possession number 16 for Jake tonight. He started off really well. His first quarter and a bit was really solid. Sort of disappeared a little bit as the Bombers continued their rampage, but his effort has been very pleasing, sure, I reckon.
Start going for the record books. The last time the Cats were kept to such a meagre score here at the MCG, or anywhere for that matter.
So Jake Stringer is directly in front and rams it home for the Dons. 9-minute mark of the final quarter. Essendon, as we check the Collins House scoreboard, look after your investments, go to collinshouse.com. They go to 10-11-71. The Cats are 3-6-24.
They've had all the answers, haven't they? Geelong, like you said, they're low, or one of their lowest scores, but they kicked 3 goals. Very good night. There's no reason why you can't play good football. It's just been a great defensive unit led by Hooker. Been fantastic. McGregor's been his running ability to get through the lines. But it's all started by the leadership too. I thought Heppel's been great. He might need, I'm trying to think, what's he done? He's had 20 possessions, but I just love the way he's gone about it with his aggression at the contest all the time.
77-24, back in the middle. Blitzarves reaches over Bell Chambers, wins the tap and puts it straight down the throat of Heppel. Handball to Zarakis, handball to Merritt, under pressure, stripped to the footy. Menegola's got it. Big turning circle, then retreats by hand to Dangerfield. He had to reach to grab it. He kicked it in the direction of Ablett, off his hands to Kelly. Centering ball, it was touched. Hooker dropped the chest mark anyway. Bombers fight on after it. Zarakis crashes into Ridley, who's been terrific. Ridley recovers first, hammers it out of the defensive 50 area. It's punched away from Bagley, and the ball is out of bounds, 55 around from the Geelong goal. The Essendon defence has been impregnable today. 3-6-24, Geelong have kicked in basically 3.5 quarters, and they trail by 53 points.
Ball thrown back into play. Heppel gets it from Merritt by hand. Puts it up to Bagley, who couldn't take the mark. Ground level is Cunico and also Dangerfield for the Cats. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. Psychology of football, Tony Shaw. It is hard to believe that this is the same team that we watched last week against the Blues.
I'll tell you what, you've got to really feel for Mark Neal, because he's going to cop it a hell of a lot, and he doesn't deserve it at all. But it's just an indictment on this group that they can do this and not do it week in, week out. Let's see what happens in the next month. Everybody's worrying about now, but they've got to continue this for a month, I reckon, before you make it a habit.
The Giants in Sydney next week, the Bombers. Then they've got Richmond in the Dreamtime.
Well, they should beat the Giants.
And then the Lions at the Gabba.
Laverty to half forward, and Stringer with a tad of confidence is able to drag down the mark from the night sky, and he goes back and will line up from long range. Certainly go the journey, I reckon, half if he gets onto it.
Oh, he'll give it a good go. He will give it an absolute go.
So Jakey boy Stringer lining up the goal. Let's see if he can hoof this one through. It'll have to be a mighty kick. Have to kick it all of 55 metres. No, he just pulls it and he goes to the pocket for McKernan. And that was always on. McKernan takes it hard up against the boundary line, acute angle, left forward pocket.
Well, the last time they kicked 3 goals, 6 Geelong in a game was at Corio Oval, as they called it back then, in round 1, 1897.
1897?
That's the first game in the competition.
Well, it's the last time they kicked this scoreline, 3-6.
Around the body, McKernan. And he's missed that one to the left. Minor score as they go to 11-12-78, the Bombers. 3-6-24, the Cats. 12-minute mark of the final quarter.
It seems a long time ago, Bruce.
Yes, it is.
I think the ground went from the Barwon River to Corio Refinery. That's how long the ground was.
Did they have refineries back then?
Well, Essendon kicked 7-5.
Well, the oil slick.
4 goals, 4 now for McKernan. Cats working into the centre of the ground to Harry Taylor. Handball to Kelly. Kicks out in favour of Blitzarves. He lets it bounce. He's got a good look at the goals. Just had the shot. Concedes ground by hand to Ablett, who handball back to Blitzarves, who then has to kick on his left foot, and he tugs it to the near side, and it barely scrapes in for a minor score.
It's a history-making point, though.
3-7-25 the Cats. 11-12-78 the Bombers. And that is on the Collins House scoreboard.
Ball back into play. Hooker brings it in for Langford. Crammery got there and made it a contest. It's probably been one of Geelong's better players. It's going to be a boundary throw in 45 metres from goal. But they have never looked like it, the Cats tonight. From the get-go, it was the Bombers with their intent. And at the moment, they lead by 54 points. And there could be more to come. Back into play. McKernan trying to pat it down. Taken by Blitzarves, though. Tackle well by Merritt. Ablett got a little kick out. Went straight to Ambrose, and he put it onto the boot, but straight up and down. Straight up the chimney. Blitzarves tries to take it. Langford to Merritt. Got it onto Ridley. He just casually kicks. Oh, Henry goes for an unrealistic attempt and shoved his opponent in the back in the process. It'll be a Bombers free. The big Tom Bell-Chambers.
Play on, Tom.
He'll just go short. Oh. A little bit of danger there, but it comes off as Zaharakis takes the mark.
I wonder if someone asked Johnny Worsfold whether he feels sorry about Mark Neal, or, how he feels, and he would go, who? He was good at it during the week.
Zaharakis kicks long down the line. Before his kick's even landed, he's walked off to have a rest and replaced by Heppel. No mark taken. Tui at the back of the contest. Spins out of trouble. Handball to Menegola. Handball to Kolajasny, who's in all sorts of trouble. Henry says, I'm just going to head for the boundary line. Oh, the umpire came charging in as if he was going to pay deliberate, but eventually says, throw it in.
Tell you who's impressed me tonight, and he hasn't had a hell of a lot of ball. He's had 18 possessions, but the work he does off the ball, Devon Smith, is outstanding. 10 tackles leading the game at the moment.
86 tackles to 62. 86 tackles any time is a pretty solid effort.
15 minutes into the last quarter from the restart. McDonald, Tip and Woody had it for a long time in the Selwood tackle, who is asking umpire Williamson why he wasn't rewarded with a free kick. Umpire Williamson ignores him and throws it up. Bell-Chambers wins the tap. Dangerfield pushes off McDonald, Tip and Woody. Scrambles a left foot kick down the line. It is close to the boundary line. Bombers don't want to see it over, though. Ridley again. He kicks backwards, and Parsons is going to run away from Hooker, and he's going to run away from D. He's going to handball to Hawkins, who has the left foot snap and kicks the Cats forth.
It's a great finish.
Tom Hawkins with a left foot snap under pressure. You would have to say half that is a pancake parlour goal of the night.
Lovely.
Means absolutely diddly squat, because the Cats move to 4-7-31 and they trail Essendon by 47 points, who are 11-12-78. That's on the Collins House scoreboard, and the time clock stops with 8:05 remaining.
Now, Cats fans haven't seen anywhere near enough of that. Gee, it's a class finish, though, from Tom Hawkins. He's had a night to forget. He won't really remember that goal, I don't think, Shorey, come the game's finale a little bit later on. But they just haven't had anywhere near that sort of opportunity to turn the ball over through the middle of the ground and run back towards goal. That hasn't been anywhere near their trademark tonight.
Great goal, but as an individual, his night's been horrid in too many years. His lack of defensive thought, just going at it and doing it, has been horrible tonight.
Heppel from the middle wins it for the Bombers and then kicks the half forward. After it, Bagguley can't quite gather. Some good heat being applied by Buse. And his long searching handball only goes as far as Merritt, who gives it to Clark. Clark's rolling ball. Langford had it for a moment. He was tackled and lost it. Selwood.
Gee, they tackled him well.
And he got high. Selwood will take the free kick for some high contact.
Not sure that's right, by the way.
Well, even if he got it, though, he just hasn't had space.
Thurlow to half forward. Sard takes it and dashes. Takes a bounce. Kicks to half forward. Bagguley gets it to McKenna from outside the 50. Unguarded. Goal square. It's another one to the Bombers. McKenna with a goal for Essendon.
Hey, Matty.
His first goal of the night. And they go to 12-12-84. The Cats are 4-7-31, 17-minute mark of the final quarter.
Tell you what, I reckon this bloke's nearly got to be in the votes half when you think about it. 17 votes. 17 possessions. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 from halfback, but Sard and McKenna's running ability in this game tonight has just broken the heart of the forwards of Geelong, who look top-heavy and look very, very slow.
It's what I think they wanted from Sard and
exactly. That's exactly what they're here for.
Through when they recruited them, but we just haven't seen them, or they haven't had the confidence to do it.
Well, McKenna missed 3 games for the biting incident.
Yes.
And Sard, hasn't
Hadn't fired a shot till tonight, really.
Cats have dropped 11% in this game as well. They're down to 8th on the live ladder and a percentage of just 112. Bombers go forward again from the restart. Langford's got it. It was a good kick. Mark was almost taken there by Laverty. Kolajasny affected the spoil and then won the football. Handball to Tui. Handball to Duncan. Takes an early bounce. Not too sure what to do with it. Eventually spreads it very wide to Cunico. We haven't called him too often this afternoon. Kicks down the line and Parsons, close to the turf, takes the mark. Wants to move it quickly and then aborts his attempt. Now there's a late whistle. No, whistles going off everywhere at the moment. They eventually centre it up and Thurlow takes the mark just inside the centre square but right on centre wing.
So Thurlow loads up and he goes to the Tomahawk, who was on the lead, and he takes the mark 49 metres out from goal. I thought I heard someone mentioning my name there a little earlier.
Should we check with Robert Walls as to how Rex is going in the final countdown to the big... Are you there, Wallsy?
Yeah, I'm here, Bruce. How you going, Matty?
G'day, Wolsey, as Selwood takes the mark 48 metres out. What's the atmosphere like in the box as Rexy prepares to return to the microphone?
The atmosphere is pretty intense here. The big fella actually hasn't arrived. I think he's going to come late and just make a big performance of it. But we've been listening to the call, and just to you, Bruce and Matty, I'm a bit worried about your special comments, man.
As Selwood kicks the goal.
Don't worry about the goal.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sam and I, we are primed and ready to go. I've never seen Sam so conscientious. He's taking some notes here. And I tell you what, if you want a couple of good special comments, man, we'll do it and we'll come cheap.
Wolsey, it's great to hear your voice again. And I am amazed that Sam even found the stadium.
Sam, what do you got to say about that?
Well, I can see it from where I live, so I walk towards where the bright lights were, and I'm here. And it won't be a good game because I've given up the wedding for this.
I know, Wolsey, you'll be surprised that I'm just about to shoot through here and get the 7:03 to try and see the Mighties cause a miracle.
Well, it's coming up next, folks. Stay tuned. Big Rexy, Sam Newman, Robert Walsh, Shane McGuinness as Patrick Dangerfield takes it from the middle and kicks it to centre half forward and getting back. Nice mark taken by Matty D. He will just chip it short to Zaharakis.
Hey, Matty, can you hear me?
Yes, I've got you, Wolsey.
Have I seen the worst coaching move of the year?
Yes.
Dangerfield put into the ruck?
Yeah,
surely you're kidding. You don't put a thoroughbred where you can put a draft horse. Sorry, Sam.
Got that, Sam.
Like we're talking about quality players, and they've thrown him in the ruck.
Wolsey, you've been through it all. How do you think Mark Neal would be feeling right now?
Oh, well, he'll never get another job.
Well, you're probably right, and it's amazing. It's an indictment on this playing group, isn't it, that it needs someone to sack to get a performance like this.
I agree with you, Tony. I've watched a bit of the game, and the intensity and the effort that they're putting in is amazing. I saw them last week against Carlton, and there was none of that.
Yeah, oh, well, we'll see what happens. But you've got a big game up there.
The big burble has arrived.
In the house.
With his entourage.
The Cats surging forward, and Parsons takes the mark just outside the 50. Gives the handball to Corey Gregson. Steps inside the 50. Gregson fires away at goal and misses to the right-hand side through for a minor score. 21-minute mark of the final quarter. 5:8:38 the Cats. 12:12:84 the Bombers. As we just wind down, it's Brendan Goddard just directing a bit of traffic out there. But he's night to night half.
Pretty good. Brendan Goddard, he's had 23 disposals, 16 and 7, 10 marks, 11 receiving handballs, 8 score involvements, which is a big number.
But has he put a tackle on?
He's had, Wolsey, I'm going to count them for you. He's had 1. There you go. He's got 1 for you.
Well, they've won tonight, Wolsey. It's all right. No one worries about it.
Well, guess what, boys? The big box of chocolatiers is just arrived.
No throwing them over the balcony.
There's no smokers in front of them.
Oh, smoking's allowed tonight.
We've got the window open. We'll smell it if it comes up.
Clark for the Bombers kicks to half forward. And back there is Zach Tui.
How good's having satellite commentary from Wolsey? He should be part of the broadcast every week.
Extraordinary stuff.
He costs too much.
He could do it from France, couldn't he, Shorey? I reckon.
Yeah,
he's in the chateau.
Some special comments. Back inside defensive 50 to Zach Tui at the Cats. We are going through the motions here at the MCG. Just over 3 minutes left on the clock. Down the middle he goes as Dangerfield goes to ground. He got a little shove out, so it'll be a free kick going to Danger. He's had a couple of goals tonight. Half what are his numbers?
Yeah, he's at 23, 11 and 12 to make up his 23. 5 clearances, 7 inside 50s, 2 snags and 6 tackles for Paddy.
It's the time of the ruck for Caramel Windsor Caravans. Hughes goes to the top of the goal square and it just bounces past Kelly and out for a boundary throw-in.
Good news is, Shorey, I reckon we might be able to get out of the car park pretty early.
Well, I don't know about that. How does that work?
Well, there's not many here. It's 50,228 official attendance, but I reckon all the Cats fans have gone home. In fact, they're just about home by now. They would have left at half-time.
We'll be listening to Rex, Sam and Wolsey and Shane McGuinness as soon as we hit the car. It's coming up St Kilda and Collingwood here on 3AW Footy as they try to clear it out. The Bombers, Jake Stringer attacking.
Oh, well done.
Did well. Knocked it on to Bagley. Close to the boundary line, was able to keep it in. He kicks the half forward with a bouncing ball, and Zach Tui able to shark it and goes to the middle for Minagola, who takes the mark right next to the centre circles. So Sam Minagola, his numbers tonight, half, he's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, Menagola's been okay. He's at 16. 16 for Sam. Not as good as he's been. I think he's a really good player, Sam Menegola, but they just haven't had the ball tonight, the Cats.
He hasn't hit the scoreboard either, Menegola. As Stewart goes inside the 50, and there's Hawkins juggling down a mark. So he takes it 35 metres out, directly in front.
Well, you've got to give him credit. He's worked pretty hard this quarter. I have been critical of his defensive work, but this game's opened up now. The Essendon that put the cue in the rack and makes it a lot easier, makes it a lot harder
Tony,
for Hooker. Yes.
Say g'day to Rex. He's just arrived.
G'day, Rex. How are you, mate? Looking forward to it?
Good on you, mate. What you said to umpire Chris Mitchell when Ablett took the mark of the century, you should ban your grandchildren from listening to that. That is a disgrace. You could have got life for that.
I went up and I said, sir, do you believe that was really a mark?
You told him to go forth and multiply, and you could have got life and ended up in a cell with Ivan Milat.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a mark anyway, but that's okay.
There's a goal to Tommy Hawkins, by the way. Guys, 2 goals to the Tomahawk.
This game's still on. Yes.
Now, Matty, you'd be enjoying back being at a station that actually got some listeners instead of family and friends.
No, it is good, Rex. It's good to have some feedback.
So what did I tell you about that revolving door at 3RW when you went down to Swan Street?
Yes, it's good fun. It's great to be back, Rexy, and I'm looking forward to listening to you guys.
Wife and family are happy now that there's sustenance on the dinner table. Is that the word, Sam? Sustenance.
Well, it depends what you're talking about.
Food.
It is a word.
Thank you. Food.
Yeah, food.
Thank you very much.
Here's Dangerfield tackle. We're going to get to Etihad Stadium shortly.
Let's just hand it over now.
Yeah, we should just give it to the boys.
I had Nick McCallum. Hello, Nick McCallum from National Tiles, and I was actually rubbing shoulders with the general public, Sam. They were asking if you were interested to come down and say g'day to the folk coming through Gate 9.
Not at all.
Thank you very much.
1 minute to go here, boys. You can have all the glory then.
Here's a
Glory
again. 45 metres out from goal.
We've got a race at 5 to 11, Matty, and Princess Litigation may be a late scratching.
Oh, beautiful. You've got to do it.
But where the Fox Hat, it's at the Clinton Gribus Golden Mile at Warrandyte. Where the Fox Hat, it's just upstream in the Yarra from Kew.
Here's the
what Kew?
Near Kew.
Boom, boom.
Sam and I were broadcasting at the MCG when the Prince's mother unfortunately was killed in a car accident. It's ironic, Sam, that my last hurrah with you and Robert tonight is when the Prince marries his princess, and I just think that's lovely.
Oh,
You're really into weddings, aren't you?
Well, I know him off by heart. I know the ceremony off by heart.
But what you actually did was every 3 years at one stage you were finding someone you hated and gave them half a house.
Well, yes, thank you, Rex. Well, Miss Mark will be riding Harry tonight in the stakes.
Now, in
whatever it's called.
In your terms, you say fair peace. Would you actually put her in the fair peace part of your book? Fair peace, Sam?
Who?
Nico Markle. Mike Meikle, whatever her name is.
Mel Michael.
Oh, back to you. And actually, Geelong are getting back into the game. This is 3RW football.
Thank you, Rex. Siren about to go. Quick snap. And the Cats miss it out on the full. Scary Ablett. Gee, his numbers half. He hasn't had a great night tonight.
17,
Little Master.
17 for Gaz.
2 points.
The 1 tackle, 2 points. 1 clearance.
Hasn't been
very
good.
subpar performance from the Little Master.
Siren about to sound here at the MCG. Then we head to Etihad Stadium. There it is. The Bombers are home. They beat the Cats. An extraordinary turnaround at the G. Final scores 12-12-84. The Cats 7-8-50.
To win the premiership flag, our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
Goal kickers for the Bombers, Sean McKernan, the major contributor, with 4 goals. Richie Fantasia kicked 2, Mark Bagley kicked 1, James Stewart, Dyson Heppel, Jake Stringer, Matt Guelphy and Connor McKenna, the goal kickers for the Bombers. And for the Cats, Tommy Hawkins with a late charge with 3, Patrick Dangerfield with 2, and Stuart Cremery with 1. The Bombers getting up.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
So margin 34 points was 18 at quarter time. It was 44 at half time, 48 at 3/4 time. And as I said, running out 34-point winners, 12-12-84. The Cats 7-8-50. Tony Shaw, just we said it during the call, just the psychology of sport, an extraordinary turnaround from where they were last week, Essendon.
Well, I think we all came here thinking Essendon were going to have a go because they've been ripped apart as a club during the week. Question about their intensity. Well, they did come to play. That scoreline flattered Geelong in the end.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. Essendon, brilliant from the outset. They set the scene. Now their test is to make sure that occurs over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, at least the next month to get to that level. They were unselfish. They were tough at the contest, and they just dominated in all areas. They split Geelong apart by their game style. They took it on. They shut down space. And in the end, their forward pressure, as we said, had to happen tonight, was just sensational.
Too good from the start to the finish, even though probably the Cats, as Shuri said, had the last 5 or 6 minutes or 8 minutes on their terms and got a few snags late. All meaningless in the end. They were comprehensively pantsed, and I haven't seen that for a long, long time. Essendon should be very proud of their performance tonight, but you do internally, I reckon, Shuri, you have to sit in the rooms after this and say, how come it's taken this, what's happened this week, to get the performance like this? Because they were manic tonight. They were absolutely fanatical with their pressure around the ball, with their pressure off the ball. And when they had possession, they took the game on. They were bold. They did that slice and dice that you were asking for at the start of the evening. And they absolutely pizzled them. It was unbelievable.
This press conference with John Worsfold might be more awkward than what he had during the week about how this has occurred and what's happened. I know he's just saying, this was going to happen. It's about confidence and, things work when you work hard. Well, it's taken this man to lose it. One of the blokes behind the scenes to lose their job to have this done. But, good luck to them. They deserve the win, and they set the tone very early tonight.
And now they're going to continue on with it half, don't they? I mean, they do this tonight, and a very good opposition, beat them comfortably by 34 points and had that dominated them pretty much for the entire match. But can they keep it up, the Bombers? That's the big question.
Well, that is the challenge now, isn't it, for them? They've set a benchmark that we've all seen tonight, what they're capable of. And whether or not they're able to replicate that will be up to them. Whether or not this level of emotion, it was the week that's been built up for a big game in front of 50,000 of their faithful fans in a country-themed encounter that we spoke to Sheeds about at halftime. Was that the catalyst, or is it just literally, as Rex would say, extracting the digit from the area and playing the game the way it should be played, or the way that they would like it to be played? That's what we saw tonight. So that's going to be a big challenge.
That was too clean for Rex to say it that way. He wouldn't have said it that way.
What about the Cats, Shuri? I thought I saw them last week against the Magpies. I thought I had the Cats pegged as a top 4 team. I mean, I was not expecting this from Geelong tonight. They usually, as we said during the call, they rarely get absolutely smashed. They have tonight. They're usually pretty competitive, Geelong, but they were absolutely pants from the get-go, weren't they?
Well, you've got to come with a certain intensity. I think the modern football, the whole game is about pressure. It's about what you can come as. And you look at the great sides, they just keep doing it week in, week out. So for Geelong, they probably thought this might have been a bit of walk in the park. But they've come up against a group who have been questioned all week, been questioned for 6 weeks, matter of fact. And now I've had, a assistant coach who a lot of the players said during the week that they really loved how he went about it. But now he's not at the club, so you've got to stand up, and they did. So congratulations to Essendon. Geelong, well, they'll go away. They're a great club. They'll learn from this, but their intensity wasn't to the level they needed. They had a lot of passengers.
A medal being awarded here for this match, Half.
Right. Well, if Carl Hooker doesn't get it, I'm leaving.
Well, let's have a listen to Nick Del Santo.
Carl Hooker.
There you go. Carl Hooker.
Ah, you read it beautifully.
Well, I'm sitting here absorbing everything I can off you because you've basically been Jock McHale, Norm Smith thrown into, Alistair Clark's all thrown into one today.
I wish I had their premierships.
Fantastic game. Terrific win for the club at the moment where we are. And good luck for Geelong for the rest of the season. You're up in the top 4 and you're a great club. Both clubs are great clubs, so hopefully we'll see you in the final sometime. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Reeds. Thanks. Firstly, thanks to Geelong. It's always a fantastic match against you guys, and it was another great match today. And thanks to the fans for coming out. Thanks for sticking by us. We're trying our best. We'll keep trying our best to improve and get better this season, and maybe anything's possible, who knows. And well done to the boys for gutting it tonight, and it's just one small step in our journey. Thanks.
All right, there is Carl Hooker.
Well done.
With the Bombers winning by 34 points earlier today. It was Port Adelaide by 40 points over the Gold Coast in Shanghai, and down in Hobart, North Melbourne got it done by 43 points, 17-10, 112, 9, 15, 69. We'll get down to the Bombers' rooms. We'll hear the song. We might get an interview, and then we're going to head straight to Rex Hunt and the team
at Rex.
Etihad Stadium. He's standing by. He's ready to go. And we'll get to Rex for, of course, Collingwood and St Kilda. Big game there at Etihad Stadium with Sam Newman, Robert Walls and Shane McGuinness. But they're just lapping it up at the moment, the Bombers.
So they should. They deserve it. Hasn't been a great year for them.
Moving in here, Matty. They're pouring in, obviously, to hear me and to make sure that I go. And I'm just looking forward to this blockbuster between Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans, and we'll be back with you very, very soon.
Thank you, Rex.
May have just missed a week there.
Yeah, was that Collingwood playing St Kilda?
Could have got his games wrong.
Okay.
Rex, but
might be a setback for the call tonight.
It could be. But looking forward to it as the Bombers.
Ben Ingham. Sam, why did you give me the running sheets for South Melbourne and Hawthorn? Anyhow, back to you.
Thank you, Rex. They'll get it right. They'll sort it out.
Well, they're pros. They're professionals.
Yep, when the mic goes on.
They used to be anyway.
Yeah, when the mic goes on, they'll be ready to go. They're at Etihad Stadium. The Cats. What's your take on the Cats, Half? We heard Shorey's. Where have you got the Cats placed at the moment?
Yeah, well, I was a bit like Shorey and yourself. I think that pinned them in for a top 4 position after what we'd seen so far. They've played beautifully. The teams they'd beaten had been very, very good teams, and they've been able to match it with them. They've gone down late in the games, as you said before, Matty, but they've been a really good team around the ball. They've been a really good team behind the ball, and they've found ways and avenues to goal as well. Tonight, they didn't get the ball, which makes it very, very difficult. And when Essendon did have it, they didn't defend very well at all. And we found a few guys from Geelong tonight that weren't too prepared to work too hard back to the other way. And that would be what Chris Cutt and his coaching team will be most disappointed about tonight. The way that they transitioned from offence to defence and the effort that they exuded when trying to do so. I think that's the disappointing part for me anyway, to watching the Cats tonight.
Is that always the issue with the Cats? Ablett coming back, you've got Dangerfield, you've got Ablett, you've got Selwood, all very good ball getters, Shorey. But maybe the balance in that midfield in terms of defence. Scott Selwood not there tonight. He's really important in that aspect.
He's very important
of the on-ballers, but a lot of ball getters in there. But defensive pressure there.
Ablett never played a lot on ball tonight, so he was up forward a bit. But when he wasn't at the club, you looked at players like Duncan was coming through. We've got Kelly now, who's new to the group. Menengola was coming through. Those Murdoch. Well, Murdoch's had 8 possessions. He's a better player than that. He's been up and down. I don't think he'll probably survive at the club if this continues at this level. Gregson again. But now that they're there, do the players just sit back and think these champions can still do it? Gary looks a long way away off the physicality of the game to what he was, and that's going to happen. He's not going to be the superstar he was. But you sit back. Dangerfield did his job. Zach Tui was good. Selwood does what he has to do. But he gets battered and hurt, week in, week out, and he's an amazing person to take the battering he does. But,
all right, down to Brett Thomas in the Bombers' rooms. Brett.
Yes, thank you, Matty. Players are just filing in, and what a difference a week makes in footy for the Bombers. 4 losses in a row. Every corner of their club was being questioned, and they responded today. You could tell earlier that they were switched on, and that the Cats were flat. You expected one of their stars, Geelong, to kick and to get them into the game, but it just never came. And there's a few players in the middle getting a Gatorade shower today. Guelphy and Dylan Clark are both in there. Their first win since they beat the Power 4 weeks ago. They're going to enjoy this tonight.
There we go. The Bombers seeing that with gusto. 34 points, the margin. The Bombers over the Cats. Before we throw it to the boys at Etihad Stadium, the Rain and Horn player of the game. Half Rain and Horn for residential, commercial or business sales. Our 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. How'd you see it?
Well, I could have given them to a handful. In fact, most of the Essendon team tonight, with apologies to Goddard Smith, Zaharaka, Sard and Heppel. They didn't get in the votes. Mark Bagley got the 1 vote. I thought his move to the forward half of the ground was very, very smart by John Worsfold, and his coaching team was terrific. Had a big influence on the contest. 16 disposals, but he was pressuring. He had 7 tackles in the forward half, 4 inside 50s, and 3 score assists. He was very important for the Bombers tonight. 2 to James Ridley on debut. I thought he was fabulous. A really, really impressive young man. 25 disposals. He had 5 tackles. He was very, very good. Used the ball with poise and class from the back half through to the forward half. Really liked what he might be able to produce for the Bombers coming forward. 3 to Sean McKernan, who set the game up with 4 first half goals. Dominated the aerial contest and dominated the Cats' defence. 4 to Zach Merritt, who was probably their best midfielder. Zaharakas and Goddard were very good. Heppel were very good, but he was probably their best mid, so I've given him the 4 votes tonight with his 32 disposals, 6 clearances as well to top him off. But Cale Hooker, the medalist tonight, was clearly the dominant player on the ground. He gets the 5 Rain and Horn votes tonight as the best on ground on 3AW football.
Thank you, Half. Thank you, Shuri.
Thank you, Matty.
Absolute pleasure. It was the Bombers by 34 points over the Cats. 12-12-84. The Cats 7-8-50. The time has arrived, folks. The greatest
wedding
caller
Are we going to a wedding?
all time. Rex Hunt is back for one last hurrah as we say good night from the MCG and take you to Etihad Stadium.